Hey guys, it's John and Jackie of OpenLove101.com. Welcome to our show. And one thing I want to point out is our new studio.
Isn't it so cool?
It's awesome. But remember when we first started, how we had one camera sitting right in front of us on a tripod?
Yeah.
And in order to get us both in the frame,
We had to
sit next to each other on the couch. And we'd be touching each other the whole time. I really miss those days. I really, really do. I miss some.
We can hold hands during this one.
But I love having all three cameras.
Yeah.
That's awesome, too, to get some different camera angles. But you're like a little ways over there from me. Today, we've been talking about this a little bit off camera before we started, how Jackie and I, because we're in the industry, and maybe part of it, and how we got started in lifestyle could be a part of it. How we've broken some we'd consider norms for most people in lifestyle, and we've kind of like maybe not followed that path.
We're rule breakers.
Yeah.
We're rebels.
I have always felt that way about myself anyway. I definitely am a rebel.
You definitely are a rebel.
So what are some common boundaries that are usually in place for couples in consensually non-monogamous relationships that maybe you and I have pushed to the side and made our own path?
Well, we talk about it. We're open about it. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
In public.
In public, yeah. We're out loud and proud.
Yeah, and not just here.
No, yeah. I mean, we just...
But in public, like with friends or parties.
Yeah. I mean, if people ask me what I do, I tell them. And there's always this kind of like pause. They're like, wow, you just come right out and say it. And I was like, well, you asked me what I do.
How does that work? So that you're at a girl function.
Yeah.
And they say, so what do you do for a living?
I was like, my husband and I own swingers clubs. And they're always like, and it's funny, they never think I'm talking golf. Not once. Never once. Like, oh, you have a golf course? No, it's just like silence. Or it's, oh, wow, you just come right out and say it. Well, I mean, you did ask me what I do. And then, the other people around me that maybe already know, they'll just be like, oh, you should ask her. You can ask her anything. She'll tell you. You can't believe some of her stories or whatnot. Yeah. No, it makes me, it's funny. I say something that you would think would make me unapproachable, but it does the opposite. People, they can't help themselves. They have to know what it is, what it's like, what I do. Or they know somebody that's also, oh, I have a friend that.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Maybe you've slept with them.
Or maybe I've been to one of those clubs before. I mean, it always opens up.
That's interesting, too. I think it just says a lot about the nature of humans.
Yeah.
And how we're probably oppressing our true nature. Yeah. In the way our society puts rules upon us and how the kind of relationships we can have or the kind of sex that we have.
Well, I just, and what's interesting is I'm not even thinking that when I'm asked. I'm just saying what it is that I do. And they're the ones that are absorbing it in like, whoa, like, oh. But by doing that, I almost didn't even realize until much later that I'm opening up this pathway of truth. Like all of a sudden, it's just like super transparent. Like it changes the format of just even the discussion. Yeah. Like if I've been in a women's group, and this happened to me one time, I was in a women's group and we were supposed to go around and introduce who we were and tell a little bit about ourselves. Well, the lady that was leading it made the mistake of having me not at the end, but kind of in the middle. I said who I am and what I do, and we never even got to anybody else because everybody was just like, what about this? What about that? What about this? Is this true? Is that true? Do people, all of a sudden I'm like viewed as this person that they can ask those questions to and not be judged. It's so weird how that happens.
Yeah, I've had the similar experiences. It is very.
Yeah, and then people are always like, well, I can't, how do I follow that? Which is, it's so funny.
Did it happen the other night when you went to an event?
No, not the other night,
No.
but it has happened to me in the past. And, it's, I don't know, I really love that. I love that it gives these other women permission to talk about stuff. Whether they do it publicly or whether they kind of, motion to me off to the side and say, hey, can I call you? Or can we do lunch? Or I'd like to ask you about this. And what's interesting, it's not even so much that maybe they want to replicate the relationship model that I have, but they want to ask me about something going on in their relationship and how they think they should approach it. So my relationship model, because I come at things a little bit different, because things aren't automatically taboo topics or subjects, or I don't just have the generic response, it enables them to maybe be able to look at themselves instead of just focusing on finger pointing or not being able to see the situation or their anger or their mood or whatever issue that they're coming up against from like this negative standpoint. I can be like, oh, well, this is a great opportunity for you to do X, Y, Z.
It is interesting though how you can just say what you do for a living, and that it evokes from women that are in that group of you being an expert in sex and relationships.
Yeah.
And not just swinger relationships or open relationships, but
Right.
monogamous relationships too, because most of these women are in monogamous relationships that have
Right.
these questions.
Right.
That's kind of crazy. It's almost like if you're in an open relationship, you're in an advanced relationship model.
Like, oh, I know I can come and ask you because you've probably done it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it that way, but
yeah.
we are in the advanced relationship model.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, that's not. But yeah, that would be outside the norm, I think. I think unfortunately there's a lot of people in this relationship model that don't feel like they can be. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily something you have to do. I mean, I would say the majority of people in society here in the United States that talk about the relationship, they don't say, I'm in a monogamous marriage. They're not saying that. They're saying that they're married.
Yeah.
But as soon as I say what I do, or, that I have a slightly different relationship model, you do open yourself up to some things. But that's, I know I'm a strong person and I can come at that with strength and assurance, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm confident, and I want to show people that I'm just I'm not any different than they are. I'm really not. I mean, I'm married. I'm a married person as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we have a strong marriage.
Yes.
And that may have something to do with it too.
Yeah.
How they can come to someone that has that's an expert in strong marriages. How to have a strong marriage? See Jackie Melfi.
Yes. What would be another outside the norm?
Yeah, another one I think, and I think it's outside the norm, but it's not as uncommon as you would think, and that's developing a relationship with your play partner or vice versa, even if it's just having, communication or hanging out a little bit. I think that might have something to do with who we are as a couple as well, and that we are open. We talk about our relationship model, the relationship itself, the sexual part of it, all types of things. So if I bring someone around you or home, or that person may have a curiosity to ask you questions because you're a woman.
Right.
And when that happens, I think that could be a little bit outside the norm if you guys develop like this little minor relationship on the side there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, because I think, okay, so typically when someone says they're a swinger, the definition of that is they go to a club or they play with a couple once and then they play with another couple and then they play with another couple and they're not forming massively strong bonds with their play partners.
Right.
They're definitely not having girlfriends or boyfriends. I mean, that's typically when you talk about swinger, that's what you think. When you start talking about girlfriends or boyfriends, I think people start to move towards polyamory.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be that way, though.
Doesn't have to be that way. I mean, John and I still like define ourselves as being in like a swinging relationship. But that swinging relationship has graduated into where we have play partners that we've played with multiple times and friendships have formed.
Mm-hmm.
And not just like if it's a play partner of yours, not only have you formed a relationship with them in some kind of a friendship way, but then I have formed some friendship relationships with them as well. And I think what makes it so crazy, and this is something, I also think that part of that has been a transition in our relationship. We kind of did it at the beginning, because you had some women that you were kind of seeing on the side, and we did some things with those women. But the more vested I became in the relationship between just you and I, and the more that grew, I think the more we were able to grow, in that longer term relationship between you and I, and then having those other women come in and everybody be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of one in particular that she and I we went shopping, we hung out at the house and had really long, deep conversations about relationships, about where she was in her relationships, how she felt about certain things. It was this real bonding moment between two women talking about their vulnerabilities, how they view relationships, where her advocacy was for herself, her boundaries, how that looked. It was just, it stopped being, it was so interesting. She stopped being your like girlfriend, and she and I just became like advocates of her growth, like being able to help her.
Yeah.
And that was really, really cool. It was really cool, and it helped even more solidify my relationship with you. And I think it also helped her see the relationship between you and I.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that can be something that's probably a little bit outside the norm.
Yeah.
For us being able to hang out or go to dinner or, do those things without there being, that jealousy that we've talked about in past videos or insecurities that we have. And that really comes with boundaries. And that's a whole other video as well. But, these are things that you learn as you progress through your relationship. But I think it's a really cool benefit, right? Of kind of stepping outside sometimes of that norm and just letting your relationship be what it is and not be afraid of that relationship, to actually be proud of that relationship and the benefits that it brings to you and your partner and to society.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have people that are hurting in silence, and you never know the impact you're going to have on somebody else. One person might say what you're doing is horrible, but there could be another person that's like, what you're saying is something I can really gravitate to, and it feels safe for me. And I really appreciate you being brave enough to share it.
That's awesome, Jackie. Yeah. And for you out there, if you want to have a conversation like that with Jackie, you can join OpenLove101 Plus. That's our members-only portal, essentially, where we provide you with more than just the regular website we have, OpenLove101.com, which isn't just regular. It's an awesome website. Be sure and go there, sign up for our email list, get notified of upcoming videos, articles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And check out our Instagram page, Facebook pages, things of that nature. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the talk today. See ya.
Yeah.
Great job, Jackie. And if you like that video, please click the button below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll give you plenty of more. Plenty of more? Kidding me?